Suns 117-107. Jason Tatum had 29. Jaylen Brown added 27. In baseball spring training in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, in front of nearly 12,000 fans, the Red Sox defeated the Rays 4-0. Seth Everett, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
It is 9:13, and back to the highways with the Subaru Retailers of New England all-wheel drive traffic on the threes, brought to you by Needham Bank. Rob?
And overall, Charlie, not too bad at the moment. We've got light volume, and you're making good time. It looks like most of the incidents south of town are gone now. We're not seeing any issues on Route 3 from Plymouth up to Weymouth. 24 is okay through Brockton and Avon, and no delays on 95 from Mansfield up to Canton. Now on the expressway, that is also okay. Furnace Brook up towards the O'Neill Tunnel. Downtown, the lower deck, Tobin, and airport tunnels are okay. North of town on Route 1, we still have a right lane work crew set up near Main Street in Saugus doing repairs from an overnight crash that took a pole down. So stay over to the left, you'll get by okay. 3 and 93 look good up towards New Hampshire. Out west of town, no complaints along the Mass Turnpike. This report is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan Injury Law Firm. Today, Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury firm in the world. They'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. They'll always be there for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com today or an office near you. Rob Hackala, WBZ's Traffic on the Threes.
AccuWeather forecast Matt Rindy tells us today it will be windy. We'll have some clouds. We'll have some breaks of sun from time to time, and we'll climb into the low 50s. It's going to be windy and cold overnight tonight with clouds. We drop back to 32. The wind will make it feel like it's in the teens. Back to work tomorrow with clouds, sun, high only in the low 40s. Wind gusts to 40 to 50 miles per hour. Winter jackets tomorrow. AccuWeather Real Feel, it'll be like it's in the 20s all day long. Right now in Boston, still some clouds starting to slowly brighten up, and we're at 50 degrees.
Live, local, and fiercely independent. This is WBZ News Radio.
Good morning. I'm Charlie Bergeron. Here are the 5 things you need to know at 9:15. 2 people are dead, 2 others injured after their car strikes a tree yesterday in Barnet, Vermont. A Green Line train on the B branch derailed yesterday just hours after repairs were finished on the track. One person arrested for vandalism yesterday in Boston, near where a large ceasefire protest had occurred. And the city of Quincy celebrating Women's History Month yesterday, honoring 5 women with the Abigail Adams Award. How about some good news from Brockton High School? That's right, they have had their share of student violence, and they've been in the news a lot. Well, how about the school's drama club putting on quite a show yesterday at a state competition?
The Brockton High School Drama Club took center stage this weekend as they participated in the state semifinal of the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild.
Oh, I'm so excited. All the schools who've been here so far, they have brought the energy, they've brought the good vibes.
We highlighted the Brockton Drama Club and caught them rehearsing earlier this week to show the great work some of these amazing students are doing. Over the past year, the school has been in the spotlight because of violence and safety concerns. Principal Kevin McCaskill says there's a lot more positive taking place inside these school walls than people realize.
Not just a little, a lot of good is coming, it comes out of this school. And if we take the time to really showcase that, and it's just not from the drama program, it's our music program, it's academically. So these opportunities to really showcase to the public about this is what's going on in Brockton Public Schools and Brockton High School in particular, but yet we still know we have work to do.
All right, that's WBZ TV's Paul Burton reporting, and the Brockton High Drama Club has moved on to the finals in their competition. President Biden says he regrets using the word illegal to refer to an undocumented immigrant during his State of the Union address.
I shouldn't have used illegal. It's undocumented.
The president speaking with MSNBC about using the word illegal while talking about the man accused of killing nursing student Laken Riley last month while she was out jogging. Jose Ibarra, originally from Venezuela, has been charged with murder. And former President Donald Trump praising Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene for interrupting President Biden's State of the Union address. Greene interrupted Biden's speech, demanding he say Laken Riley's name, which the president eventually did. Yesterday at a rally in Rome, Georgia, Mr. Trump said Green's actions were very brave. Well, it's becoming more and more a national trend. Lots of retired folks are headed back to work.
Scott Butcher retired a year ago after spending 50 years working in a delicatessen.
I've been doing this since I was 14 years old, so I guess it's in my blood.
The Charleston, West Virginia man is part of a growing nationwide trend. Retired workers on retiring.
Couldn't wait to get back to work.
Fellow West Virginian Ed Chandler has done the same.
After sitting home for a year and a half, it got a little bored. I was driving my wife nuts. You can only cut so much grass.
A recent study found 1 in 8 retired Americans plan to return to the workplace for many reasons in 2024. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Pope Francis speaking out on the war in Ukraine, saying negotiations are never a surrender. The Pope says he would like to see Ukraine negotiate an end to the war with Russia by displaying what he called the courage of the white flag. Those comments were reported yesterday, although they were first made in an interview last month with a broadcaster from Switzerland. The pontiff saying, when you see that you are defeated, that things are not going well, you have to have the courage to negotiate. Another in-flight issue. This time it's a United Airlines flight forced to return to Chicago's O'Hare Airport because of a maintenance issue. CBS's Mark Strassman.
More issues for United Airlines. Another mid-air diversion, this one in Chicago. The problem, an oil warning light. On Friday night, an emergency landing at LAX because of a hydraulics issue. 2 disruptive incidents in 24 hours and 6 in the last week. And while no one was hurt, it's part of a pattern of problems taking flight in commercial aviation.
The flight was headed from Chicago to Salt Lake City when it was forced to turn back. And an investigation continuing into January's incident on an Alaska Airlines flight where a door blew out in mid-flight. Joe Cadotte with KYES Television.
The Boeing 737 MAX that experienced a plug blowout midair is now being investigated by the Justice Department. The DOJ announced that they have started a criminal investigation into the January incident that took place on an Alaska Airlines plane. The investigation would help the DOJ review whether Boeing complied with a previous settlement.
The Department of Justice now looking into whether anything related to January's Alaska Air incident could affect a 2021 agreement. That deal resolved criminal charges stemming from the crashes of 737 MAX planes. 9:20, it is 50 degrees, clouds in Boston. AccuWeather forecast coming up with Matt Rindy. To the roads with Rob Hackler next.
You've been listening to WBZ, so you probably know about The Loop.
I do. It's a short podcast of just news.
Did you know that on your Alexa, you can set it up in your flash briefing, which makes it really easy to listen to?
I do now.
Get in The Loop from WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
You recently sold your home. Maybe you received an inheritance or have any large sum of cash you want to park for a short term. Then park it at Eagle Bank. Right now, Eagle has a special 7-month CD with an annual percentage yield of 5.35%. But call Eagle Bank to open your account soon and lock in this rate because rates have been dropping and 5.35% might not last long. Remember, at Eagle Bank, all CD deposits are safe and insured by the FDIC and DIF. Log on to bankeagle.com and see all of Eagle's special CD rates before they're gone. Use your money to make money. Contact Eagle Bank today and lock up their special 7-month CD with a 5.35% APY.
Eagle Bank.
Rates may vary and are subject to change without notice. Annual percentage yield is accurate as of 2/5/24. The 7-month certificate of deposit account is available during a special promotion period to new money only. For Eagle Bank transfers, a minimum deposit of $100,000 of new money is required. Minimum balance to open the CD and earn the APY is $100,000. A penalty will be imposed for withdrawals before maturity. CDs will automatically renew at a 12-month term at the regular 12-month CD rate offered by the bank at the time of renewal. Other terms and rates available. Eagle Bank, member FDIC, member DIF.
Hey homeowners, listen up. Do you know when to replace your windows? The room feeling too hot or cold? Well, it's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Ugh, time to replace. Spending too much money on energy that literally goes out the window? Definitely time to replace. Hey, it's Adam Kaufman for Renewal by Andersen. If you've been putting off replacing your windows, here's great news. Right now, you can save big with Renewal by Andersen's 31-day sale. Buy one, get one 40% off when you buy 4 or more windows windows, plus take $150 off each window or door. No minimum purchase. Just call 1-866-RENEWAL for your free in-home consultation. Renewal by Anderson's exclusive composite material is 2 times stronger than vinyl and virtually maintenance-free. Call them today. Help keep your home more comfortable year-round. 1-866-RENEWAL. That's 1-866-RENEWAL. Visit renewalbyanderson.com for full offer details.
Water damage happens fast. So can the cleanup when you call on the restoration specialists at 1-800-SERVE-PRO to help make it like it never even happened. That's 1-800-SERVE-PRO. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
923, back to the highways with the Subaru retailers of New England. All-wheel drive traffic on the 3s. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Charlie. Overall, not too bad now. Light volume, no major delays. The expressway northbound, 10 to 11 minutes. From Braintree into Boston, no issues there. 24 and 95 look good south of town. And Route 3 is okay between the Cape and Weymouth. Now, on west of town, the Pike looks good at the moment from the Prue Tunnel all the way headed out towards Millbury. Downtown, the lower deck, Tobin, and Airport tunnels are okay. North of town, Route 1 North, the right lane is closed for work after Main Street in Saugus, that from an overnight crash. Routes 3, 93, and 95 look good. No delays there, heading up towards the New Hampshire line. Rob Hackla, WBZ's Traffic on the 3s.
Let's check the 4-day WBZ AccuWeather forecast with Matt Rindy.
We will have lingering rain to start the day. Otherwise, it'll be windy with clouds and breaks of sunshine, high up to 52. Then tonight, it'll be windy and cold with patchy clouds, low down to 32. AccuWeather real field temperatures dropping into the teens. Very windy tomorrow with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. It'll be quite chilly with times of clouds and sun, high 43. Real field temperatures in the 20s. Not as windy on Tuesday. It'll turn milder with plenty of sunshine, high up to 51. Partly sunny on Wednesday, high not far from 50. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Matt Rindy, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
So the rain has moved offshore, and we're just in a cloud cover right now. And we're at 50 degrees here in Boston at 9:25.
I'm Katie from Long Baths. Right now, get 50% off materials, plus no payments and no interest for 2 years. Visit longbaths.com to get your free estimate today.
Don't miss the Subaru of New England, a lot to love event.
Welcome to Connoisseur's Corner. This is Jordan. Great to be with you. And joining me today is Matt Robinson. He writes about food and dining and all kinds of great stuff at mattsmeals.com, matts-meals.com. Let's talk about the return of a restaurant in Somerville. That's great news.
Well, before I was doing talking about food with you, Jordan, I was a music critic, and I would spend a lot of time in Davis Square hanging out at places like Johnny D's, which is a dearly, dearly departed. But one of the places I used to eat a lot when I was there was the Rosebud Kitchen and Bar. It's been around since 1941. It's on the National Registry of Historic Places, classic diner, train car setup. And it was threatened with closing during COVID, but it's been reopened and revamped by Chief Keith Saracen, who, in addition to reviving all of the locally sourced diner favorites and comfort foods, is bringing the taste of India, which should be really interesting. So you can get amazing burgers and this cracker-crusted mac and cheese, but also chicken tikka, tandoori-cooked masala fries and mashed potatoes, and Indian veggie chili, which you can actually apparently put on a hot dog for like a little combo. There are desserts from nearby Petsy Pies, and also some Indian desserts like a mango lassi parfait. So it's a real international mix, and all the drinks are only $10, so you can't beat that. Check out rosebudkitchen.com, and let's welcome them back with open arms.
Rosebud, should I take my sled?
Wells.
Well done. Thank you, Matt Robinson. Jordan here with Connoisseur's Corner, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
Tonight, the Academy Awards.
It's Oscar night. Stars will be hitting the red carpet, and aside from the nominees, expect to see Matthew McConaughey, Lupita Nyong'o, Sam Rockwell, and Zendaya, who are all presenting. Oppenheimer has the most nominations with 13, including Emily Blunt for Best Actress. Letting them pick our lives to pieces. But insiders think she may lose to Divine Joy Randolph for her incredibly layered performance in The Holdovers.
You don't tell a boy that you're aching to cut him loose.
Do you think it's still an honor just to be nominated? Cooper Lawrence, CBS News.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Really? Back on the silver screen.
Understand, me never lived outside God's house.
Smoking is featured in 9 out of 10 Oscar nominees for Best Picture, from Poor Things
to American fiction.
Monk, your books are good, but they're not popular.
Tobacco is popular again at the movies, despite a recent CDC survey finding cigarette use at an all-time low among adults. The anti-smoking group Truth Initiative's annual report warns exposure to the imagery can triple the likelihood of a younger person taking up the habit. The only Oscar-nominated film without a smoker? Hi, Barbie. Give it up for the Plastic Dolls. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Daylight saving time is here. Get to that story coming up in the news at 9:30.
Ben, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy, even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating a low T could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back that flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Northeast Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000. That's 617-793-5000. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Love podcasts? Pull out your phone right now. Open the free iHeartRadio app and check out these podcasts. History on Trial.
Only 30 minutes to put her body in the well.
Dateline NBC.
The first big clue in the mystery.
Mission Implausible.
The means to keep down what was then called the Third World.
Listen today on the iHeartRadio app. More than just the best radio, it's your favorite podcasts too. And best of all, it's absolutely free. iHeartRadio. Did you hear that Matt Shearer story?
Would you believe me if I told you the greatest tacos in Massachusetts come from a gas station?
Tastes wonderful.
The best burritos in Massachusetts.
Definitely the best taco I've ever had from a gas station.
I'll take the best taco you've ever had from anywhere.
I hope more people come, but I don't want the lines too long.
For more stories like this, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio. This is WBZ News Radio, where Boston gets the news. An iHeartRadio station.
Clouds in Boston and 50 degrees at 9:30. Good morning. Welcome. I'm Charlie Bergeron. Here's what's happening. Well, thankfully, the rain has passed.
But it is going to turn very windy tonight into tomorrow. Some gusts up to 50 miles per hour.
Yikes. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Matt Rindy. Got the full forecast coming up in just a couple minutes. So if you're feeling a little out of it this morning, I don't blame you. Clocks moved forward an hour overnight, and we're back to daylight saving time.
The push ahead means a lost hour of sleep that can mean crankiness. It can also harm our health. Darker mornings and more evening light together knock the body clock out of whack. That means daylight saving time can usher in sleep trouble for weeks or even longer. Studies have found an uptick in heart attacks and strokes right after the March time change. Experts say there are ways to ease the adjustment, including getting more sunshine, which helps reset the circadian rhythm for healthful sleep. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
It is 9:31. If you've moved your clocks ahead, good for you. 2 people have died, 2 others injured after their car struck a tree in Barnett, Vermont. State police responding to the crash on Route 91 yesterday. 4 people, all from Vermont, inside the car when it left the road, slammed into a tree and rolled over. 2 people dead inside the car, 2 others taken to a local hospital. One had severe injuries, the other with minor injuries. Police say no one was wearing a seatbelt, and they don't even know who was driving the car. A Plymouth man facing a number of charges, accused of shooting at homes on North Spooner Street. This happened with 25-year-old Joshua Fitzgerald. According to police, got into a fight with a resident of North Spooner Street at a downtown bar. And they say Fitzgerald then drove to the neighborhood and just started shooting at homes early yesterday morning. Several homes hit by gunfire. One home left with a bullet lodged in the ceiling of a family room. Another bullet going through the window of a second home. Thankfully, no injuries reported. Police say they found Fitzgerald sitting on his front porch. He tried to take off, but was taken into custody. A Maine woman makes history completing a demanding sailing voyage.
I am the first American woman to race solo around the world.
I think that's the first time I've said it out loud.
Cole Brower is breaking barriers, completing the Global Solo Challenge, one of the most extreme sporting events on Earth. The last time we spoke, I asked you, what are you going to do when you get on land?
The bottle of champagne is in the mini fridge.
I first met Cole over video chat in February. I was in Boston. She was in the middle of the ocean, 800 miles off the coast of Uruguay.
If someone needed to come out and get me, it could take upwards of a week.
During her sailing saga, she faced high seas, unpredictable weather. She bruised her ribs and later experienced severe dehydration, but she fought on.
Wow, it's WBZ TV's Laura Hafley reporting. 9:33, Boston City Hall converted into an art gallery. That story's on the way, but first to the roads. The Subaru retailers of New England all-wheel drive traffic on the threes. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Charlie. And use some caution on the expressway northbound. State police are checking for reports of debris, possibly a bumper in the left lane northbound before the gas tank on the expressway northbound. So use some caution there. Could be some debris there in the left lane. No delays on the southbound expressway. That's fine. Boston down to Braintree. Route 3 looks good along the South Shore from Weymouth down to the Cape. No delays on the lower stretch of 128 through Dedham and Needham. Out west of town, a good ride on the Pike end to 90. Downtown, the lower deck, Tobin and Airport tunnels are okay. North of town on Route 1, we did have some long-term right lane work from an overnight crash. Route 1 northbound after Main Street in Saugus. 3 and 93 are okay up to New Hampshire. Rob Hackala, WBZ's Traffic on the Threes.
Alrighty, Rob, thank you. Let's check the 4-day WBZ AccuWeather forecast. Matt Rindy tells us today we'll have some clouds, some sun, and we'll climb into the low 50s. Had a lot of rain during the overnight hours, but that has all moved well offshore. Quite windy and cold overnight tonight with clouds. We drop back to 32 for a low. Then you factor in that wind overnight tonight. It's going to feel like it's in the teens. And then tomorrow, another very windy day with clouds, sun, high only 43 tomorrow. Got those wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour. Going to feel like it's in the 20s all day long tomorrow. Gets better on Tuesday, not as windy, mild with sunshine, high 51. And then Wednesday, partly sunny, pleasant, and again, high to about 50. Right now, clouds, some fog here in Boston, 50 degrees at 9:35. An art exhibit inside Boston's City Hall offers something special. Here's WBZ's Suzanne Sausville.
Because the paintings are all done by BPS students, like first grader Joe Seiden, who points up at his painting.
It's that one. It's Rainbow U York City. Some of the colors are actually rainbow. And if you mix one of the colors, you actually get a new color.
And sixth grader Rosella.
My artwork is a painting called Rosas, which represents my name.
Anthony Beatrice is the district's executive director for the arts.
For the month of March, we transformed Boston City Hall into a museum featuring the artwork of over 300 students from across the Boston Public Schools.
And he says there's a lot to celebrate.
We have arts in every single school. It is now a graduation requirement for all of our high school students.
Next to each painting, drawing, or collage is an artist's statement where the student walks the viewer through their thought process. At City Hall, Suzanne Sausville, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
A woman continues to recover after being injured last week at a Shell station in East Providence. Authorities say the woman was going through the car wash on Pawtucket Avenue when a large spinning brush crashed through her windshield, and then the brush kept spinning while she was inside the car. Police say she was eventually removed from her vehicle and taken to the hospital, thankfully, with just minor injuries. To New Hampshire, where a police officer was injured when his cruiser rolled over yesterday. Happened about 2:30 on Sheridan Road in Moulton Borough. That officer taken to the hospital for treatment of minor injuries. Aside from the cruiser, authorities say there was no other property damage. President Biden and former President Trump holding competing campaign events yesterday in Georgia.
Biden returned to the key state of Georgia, a state that he narrowly won in 2020.
We all know Donald Trump sees a different America, an American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution.
The Biden campaign is boosting resources, planning a $30 million media blitz over the next 6 weeks. In a new ad addressing the question polls show is on voters' minds, his age.
I'm not a young guy. That's no secret. But here's the deal. I understand how to get things done for the American people.
Both candidates are focusing on a long campaign road ahead. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
Former President Donald Trump campaigning in Rome, Georgia yesterday with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Trump pointing to the very important role that Georgia will play in the upcoming 2024 election.
The Georgia primary is this Tuesday, March 12th, and Georgia could be the state that puts us, look, if we win Georgia, we're going to win the election. Let me put it that way, okay? We have to win Georgia.
Trump also repeating the challenge that he would debate President Biden anywhere and anytime. 9:38, and on to business now with Bloomberg.
Movie theater operators, large and small, have been struggling with lower attendance for years. They've been through the pandemic, Hollywood strikes, and more competition from streaming in the home. If you've been to an AMC theater, you've probably seen Nicole Kidman trying to remind audiences that movie theaters give you something you just can't get at home.
That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim. And we go somewhere we've never been before.
SNL even did a parody.
That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim.
Oh, I can't describe it.
And we go places we've never been before.
But even the buzz around that and other attempts to lure audiences back to theaters have fallen short. AMC avoided bankruptcy, but Regal Cinema's parent Cineworld didn't. And earlier this month, a small theater chain in California that survived 100 years announced it, too, is filing for Chapter 11. I'm Steve Potusk, Bloomberg Business on WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
And coming up, 2 residents of Florida heading to France to tie the knot and also honor D-Day veterans.
As sure as New England potholes and nor'easters, you'll hear traffic and weather together on the 3s. Ride it out with WBZ News Radio.
Come in, sit down and save.
We have the best prices in New England.
The Chair Fair.
Comfort.
Color, shape, size. We're the place. We have the largest selection of bar and counter stools in New England. We specialize in dinettes as well.
Chair Fair.
The Chair Fair.
Chair Fair. Come in, sit down and save.
The Chair Fair in Weymouth on Route 53. Do you believe more than 300 bar and counter stools and more than 100 dinettes currently on display? Visit the Chair Fair in Weymouth. Hurry in now for special winter savings.
What's the best thing about spring? That it's not winter. Second best thing is the spring sale at Reed's Ferry Sheds. This week, save 10% on every Reed's Ferry Shed and lock up an early spring delivery date. Here's what you do. You go online to reedsferry.com, get the sale details, and then stop into Reed's showroom, open today till 5. You'll see 16 acres of sheds on display in every size, style, and color. And they're all on sale, 10% off. You'll save hundreds on a shed so good looking you could put it in the front yard. Of course, no fallout particle board, installed by Reed's Ferry and backed by a 30-year warranty. Save 10% during Reed's Ferry Shed spring sale. It's going on now through Easter Eve, Saturday, March 30th. So hop online and see yours at reedsferry.com, then make the call.
Call 888-85-SHEDS.
10% off a Reed's Ferry Shed. You got a good one.
Coleman.
It's electric.
Coleman Electric has free estimates. Well, whoop-dee-doo. Yeah, I know. Saying we have free estimates isn't a big selling point. It's like a restaurant advertising free napkins. But hey, Coleman Electric has to talk about it because our competitors, the big ones anyway, you call them up and say, yeah, I need an estimate on a wiring job or something. And they tell you their estimates cost $98. You go, what? $98? $98? How much are your napkins? Huh? Never mind. No, you call Coleman Electric, we come over, take a look at your project, and we give you an accurate price. It's kind of what you expect a business to do. You don't expect them to say, we are going to charge you money to tell you how much money we charge. That's crazy. My boss says it's a paradox. What? Paradox. Look, I don't know if it's one dock or a paradox. All I know is we have free estimates and they don't. So if you want an electrician and a free estimate, call Coleman Electric and we'll be at your house in the flick of a switch. And if the switch is broken, we'll be there quicker. When you need an electrician, call Coleman.
It's electric.
Sparked Energy by Dunkin'. Available in Berry Burst and Peach Sunshine. Drop by or order ahead on the app and get a medium for $3. Fruit flavor contains 0% fruit juice. Caffeine from caffeine and guarana. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
Sports now on WBZ News Radio.
Another large crowd is expected today in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic
for the Red Sox and the Rays. Today's a 1 o'clock first pitch. Right-hander Garrett Whitlock starts for Boston against Rays righty and Northeastern University alum Aaron Savali. Nearly 12,000 people filled the stadium yesterday to see the Red Sox beat Tampa 4-0. The Celtics' Western road trip continues after last night's exhilarating win over the Phoenix Suns. They're in Portland Monday night to take on the Trailblazers. In college basketball, Patriot League Championship semifinal, Case Gym, Boston University faces Lehigh. That game's set for 4 o'clock. Seth Everett, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
9:43 and back to the roads. The Subaru retailers of New England, all-wheel drive, traffic on the threes. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Charlie, and we're looking at a decent ride overall, light volume. We do have a good ride south of town on the expressway now. We're not seeing any issues up past the traffic camera. We did earlier have some debris in the roadway. Not seeing any slowdowns, though, getting up by the gas tank now or up towards Columbia Road. Route 3 looks good between the Cape and Braintree, the lower end of 128 spine through Dedham and Needham. North of town, Route 1, the right lane is closed. After Main Street in Saugus, it's work crews from an overnight crash. Stayed left, you'll get by okay. 3 and 93 are fine up to New Hampshire. And downtown, the lower deck, Tobin, and airport tunnels are all okay. Out west of town, not seeing any issues along the Mass Turnpike. This report is being sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. Rob Hackla, WBZ's Traffic on the Threes.
AccuWeather forecast. Matt Rindy tells us today we'll have some clouds, some sun. It will be windy today, and temperatures expected to climb into the low 50s. Windy and cold overnight tonight with clouds. We drop back to 32 degrees, and then you factor in the wind. It'll feel like it's in the teens overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, clouds, sun, and again cold, just a high to 43, but then you get the wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. It'll feel like it's in the 20s all day long tomorrow. Right now, some clouds in Boston and 50 degrees.
Live, local, and fiercely independent. This is WBZ News Radio.
Good morning. I'm Charlie Bergeron. Here are the 5 things you need to know at 9:45. Famine in Gaza is widespread and worsening as United Nations officials say Israel is allegedly blocking aid from reaching desperate Palestinians. One person arrested for vandalism near a large protest in Boston demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. 2 people dead, 2 others hurt after their car hits a tree yesterday afternoon in Barnett, Vermont. A Green Line train on the B branch derailed yesterday. This was just hours after repairs had just been finished on the track. Girl Scouts and Suffolk Construction collaborating on a project encouraging young girls to dream big about careers considered to be the domain of boys and men. Here's WBZ's Mike Macklin.
The project, build a spaghetti tower and perch a marshmallow on top, making sure it doesn't lean like that leaning tower in Pisa. That's what the Girl Scouts worked on at the headquarters of Suffolk Construction, a workshop to encourage young girls aged 7 to 9 to think about construction as a career for girls as well as boys.
I personally think that I would want to see more girls building because it seems like a lot of males do it.
9-year-old Vita Charmatal is inspired to dream big. That's what Betsy Calkins of the Girl Scouts says the project is all about.
The goal is for them to understand what all goes into the construction business, to see what different careers are available to them, and hopefully inspire them to.
Catherine Maloney of Suffolk Construction hopes these young Girl Scouts dream big.
It's a long-term partnership, so we keep that interest and hopefully, they maybe come to Suffolk at some point.
Mike Macklin, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
Dine Out Boston makes its return today. The 2-week culinary celebration features over 150 restaurants all around the city. Each participating restaurant will offer specially priced menus for lunch and dinner, with some of the money going to charity. This year, the beneficiary is the independent nonprofit Boston Preservation Alliance, which helps influence the future of Boston's historic buildings and landscapes and communities. Tickets for the event are available now and will run through March 23rd. Well, you got to wait. It's just that simple. A growing number of us are getting frustrated trying to make a medical appointment. And at least one doctor is warning about the risk if you don't see your doctor.
Half of all Americans scored severe or burned out on the MDVIP Ipsos patient survey's frustration index. MDVIP medical director Dr. Alan Reisinger says that's not good.
It's really damaging us because we know that there are people who have chronic conditions like diabetes or hypertension, high blood pressure, or heart issues, even emotional issues like anxiety, that are basically avoiding going to see their doctor because they know it's a miserable experience.
Reisinger says that can lead to worsening of their health.
CBS's Beth Fisher reporting. Well, just in time for Ramadan, the U.S. and supporting countries following through on a pledge to bring more relief supplies to desperate residents in Gaza. ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge from Jerusalem.
U.S. military logistics vessel setting sail from its base in Virginia less than 36 hours after President Biden announced his emergency military plan to build a temporary pier off the coast of Gaza. Now, it will take weeks for U.S. troops to set that pier up. But in the meantime, a Spanish vessel full of supplies from American charity World Central Kitchen is set to depart Cyprus this weekend for Gaza.
The daily number of aid trucks into Gaza still far below the 500 daily flow before the war began. And Israel says while it welcomes the new aid arriving by sea, it will inspect any cargo before it leaves a staging area in Cyprus. Anarchy in Haiti. Roving gangs now reportedly control 80% of the capital of Port-au-Prince, and they're attacking government buildings. The U.S. has called for the acting prime minister to reach a compromise, but might be too late to stop the chaos.
The State Department urges Americans to leave, but with both international airports closed, foreigners now stranded. Canadian citizen Richard Phillips could hear gunshots ringing out from his hotel.
The country just deteriorated really, really quickly. The real fear is that if the police force collapses in Haiti, you become very vulnerable as a hostage, quite frankly.
The acting prime minister was in Kenya when the violence first broke out and is now stuck in Puerto Rico. The U.S. says it has encouraged him to reach a compromise to end the ongoing political stalemate.
That's ABC's Ines de la Catera reporting. Hundreds gathering yesterday at the Texas state capitol to protest against Senate Bill 4. The state immigration law was supposed to take effect this weekend, but was temporarily blocked from effect until at least this coming Wednesday, while the Supreme Court considers whether it will allow Texas to enforce the bill.
The ugliness of the way they're mistreating human beings.
Hundreds of people from across the state came together to say no to SB4 and no to Operation Lone Star.
I came to this country as a war refugee from Vietnam, so it's important to me.
SB4 is a bill that would allow Texas police to arrest people they suspect of crossing the border illegally.
A lot of conversations are happening at the kitchen tables right now, right? Of like, do we need to leave Texas? Is it safe for us to stay?
CBS's Monique Lopez reporting. A South Florida couple headed to France this spring to get married and honor soldiers who stormed the beaches on D-Day.
Harold Terrens and Jean Swirlin of Boca Raton are 196 years old, respectively. Harold is also a World War II veteran who went to France right after D-Day, and he'll be honored by France on the 80th anniversary of the invasion. After that, they'll get married at Normandy. Don't think that Harold and Jean are the retiring type. They say they love dancing.
Don't believe me, just watch.
And Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars is one of their favorites. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Hey, good for them. 9:51, 50 degrees in Boston.
Hi, I'm Charlie Ross with the WBZ Ski Report. We'll clear out and ski on soft spring snow close to home at Wachusett. Still more than 20 trails, and Pat's Peak on a couple dozen slopes for their Hawaiian weekend. There's moderate fresh snow for Ragged Mountain and Gunstock, New Hampshire, both on most of their major snowmaking trails. Bigger snow as you get into the White Mountains at Loon, Waterville, and Cannon, at least 50 trails for them. Bretton Woods, 30 slopes, Killington, Smuggler's Notch, and Jay Peak should have double-digit snow totals in Vermont by Monday. I'm Charlie Ross for WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
All right, AccuWeather forecast with Matt Rindy coming up. We'll check the roads for you with Rob Heckler next.
Traffic can change so quickly.
Turn left.
Can your app keep up?
Recalculate. Please take a 180-degree turn.
Our traffic reporters can.
Chelsea all the way to the Leverett Connector and the airport tunnels, rather. Slow down, Lori. Take a breath.
Traffic on the threes, right here on WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
Hey homeowners, listen up. Do you know when to replace your windows? The room feeling too hot or cold? Well, it's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Ugh, time to replace. Spending too much money on energy that literally goes out the window? Definitely time to replace. Hey, it's Adam Kaufman for Renewal by Andersen. If you've been putting off replacing your windows, here's great news. Right now, you can save big with Renewal by Andersen's 31-day sale. Buy one, get one 40% off when you buy 4 or more windows, plus take $150 off each window or door. No minimum purchase. Just call 1-866-RENEWAL for your free in-home consultation. Renewal by Andersen's exclusive composite material is 2 times stronger than vinyl and virtually maintenance-free. Call them today. Help keep your home more comfortable year-round. 1-866-RENEWAL. That's 1-866-RENEWAL. Visit renewalbyandersen.com for full offer details.
It is 9:53. Let's go check the roads. The Subaru retailers of New England all-wheel drive traffic on the 3s. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Charlie, and a few things to watch out for north of town. Route 1 on the northbound side, the right lane closed after Main Street in Saugus. Work crews there repairing damage from an overnight crash that took down a pole. Stay to the left to get by. 3 and 93 look good up towards New Hampshire, although we do have a crash 213 west to watch out for. 213 west near the ramp to 93 in Methuen. Use some caution there. Downtown, the lower deck, Tobin and airport tunnels are okay. No problems along Stiro Drive or Soldiers Field Road. South of town, the expressway looks good. No issues. Route 3 along the South Shore and out west. No complaints along the Mass Turnpike. Rob Hackla, WBZ's Traffic on the 3s.
Thank you, Rob. Let's check that 4-day WBZ AccuWeather forecast now with Matt Rindy.
We'll have some lingering rain to start the day. Otherwise, it's going to be windy with breaks of sunshine. We'll have a high up to 52. Then quite windy and cold tonight with patchy clouds, low down to 32. We'll have AccuWeather real field temperatures dropping into the teens. Very windy tomorrow with gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour. It's going to be chilly with times of clouds and sun, high 43. AccuWeather real field temperatures in the 20s. Not as windy and turning milder on Tuesday with plenty of sunshine, high 51. Partly sunny and pleasant Wednesday, high not far from 50. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Matt Rindy, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
49 degrees in Boston at 9:55.
Welcome to Now Streaming with Jordan.
The greatest artists of a generation came together to save some lives.
It all happened on one night in 1985 when the biggest names in American music came together to record a song that sold millions and raised tons of money for humanitarian aid for Africa. The greatest night of pop is the story of the making of We Are the World, with never-before-seen footage of the recording session held at A&M Records in L.A. and a glimpse into the personalities of many of our favorite artists, from Michael Jackson and Springsteen to a somewhat crotchety Cyndi Lauper, at least in the early going, to Bob Dylan, the artist who looked and felt completely out of place. It was an all-night session produced by Quincy Jones, and credit certainly needs to go to Lionel Richie, who not only wrote the song with Michael Jackson, but helped keep the recording session on track. And all of this before cell phones, texting, and email. A terrific documentary on Netflix, The Greatest Night in Pop. That's Now Streaming with Jordan, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
9:55. Want to travel and save some money?
It's been a theme on TikTok the past few years. A post-pandemic travel trend called dupe trips, or duplicate destinations, that allows you to trade out a popular destination for somewhere with a similar feel that's cheaper.
For example, instead of Paris, people might go to Quebec City or Montreal in Canada. It's closer, it's more affordable. They're beautiful French cities.
You may lose traveler bragging rights, but then maybe you shouldn't care, says Casey Carr with Sharon Carr Travel.
But you sort of have bragging rights in another way. You've discovered this off the beaten path hidden gem that has a lot of the same things culturally and entertainment-wise that this other big city has.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
Final touches being put in place for Hollywood's big night.
The red carpet, yes, it has been uncovered and it is ready for the stars' arrival. They have been putting those Oscar statues in place. They've been putting up thousands of flowers to decorate. Media from around the world have arrived and are preparing to cover the 96th Academy Awards.
That's ABC's Leanne Sutter reporting. 9:57, authorities in Hanover investigating a shoplifting incident at Target. WBZ's Tina Gow with that story and much more next in the news at 10 o'clock.
Join us tomorrow night for our 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, presented by The Hartford, live at South by Southwest. We'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year and celebrate the most innovative talent and creators in the industry. Watch tomorrow night, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on iHeartRadio's YouTube channel.
Presented by the Hartford Small Business Insurance. Learn more or start a quote at thehartford.com/small business. With insurance designed for your small business, the Bucks got your back.
Hi, I'm Kerry Orlandi of Millbrook Modular Homes. We build affordable, custom-made, attached in-law modular additions for family homes. See floor plans in our contact form at millbrookhomes.com.
I'm Joe Casper. A dad came into Casper Funeral Services to meet with me to make funeral arrangements for his daughter, who sadly had passed away. He said dealing with Casper Funeral Services has been very easy and uncomplicated. Unlike other funeral service providers I called late at night and got an answering service, it was very impersonal. My daughter died, and I'm getting answering services. It was very stressful, waiting and waiting for a call back. Then I called Casper Funeral Services, and Joe, you immediately answered my call. When I truly needed a caring response for the loss of my daughter, you were there for me and my family. At Casper Funeral Services, always being there for you in your time of need is exactly why we don't have an answering service. The service he chose for his daughter was our Casper $1,395 Simplicity Cremation, followed by a personal celebration of life. If you have a personal funeral services need for every funeral service, and you absolutely want to spend thousands less, call Casper Funeral Services at 800-314-1890 or visit our website, CasperFuneralServices.com. I'm Joe Casper.
If it's time to replace your old windows,
Call Right Window right now.
call 800-649-3600 or schedule an appointment online at rightwindow.com. A better window installed for the right price. Right Window.
Now is the time to take a closer look at your windows. Right now at Window Nation, get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy, plus 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0% financing for 2 full years. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
I'm Katie from Long Roofing. Right now, get 50% off materials plus no payments and no interest for 2 years. Visit longroofing.com to get your free estimate today.
Isn't it time you got along?
WBZ Boston, WXKS-FM HD2 Bedford, an iHeart radio station. This is WBZ, Boston's news radio, redefining local news.
We have 49 degrees in Boston right now, mostly cloudy, pretty foggy too in the city, blustery on this Sunday, 10 o'clock, and a good morning to you. I'm Tina Gow. Did you switch your clocks yet? Here's what's happening at 10. Well, mostly a gloomy Sunday with lots of clouds and fog around. So we stay mostly cloudy today and pretty windy. Some early snow showers on the way tonight. We stay blustery and chilly with patchy clouds as well, down to the freezing mark, 32 degrees, much more on the AccuWeather forecast. The extended details on the way right after traffic on the 3s on the way at 10:03. Another top donor to the UN agency aiding Palestinians resuming its funding. Let's find out more from CBS's Linda Kenyon in Washington.
Sweden's decision comes weeks after more than a dozen countries halted hundreds of millions of dollars in aid after Israel alleged several employees of the UN agency were involved in the October 7th attack. Sweden says it has received assurances that there will be extra checks on the spending and the personnel involved in the relief work. The resumption of aid comes as Palestinian civilians are caught up in an unprecedented humanitarian crisis amid the war between Israel and Hamas. Some people, including young children, reportedly have died of malnutrition. Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
An investigation underway after one person was arrested for vandalism at the Chase Bank near the Prudential Center. This following an Israel-Gaza protest in Boston's Back Bay neighborhood yesterday on Boylston Street. Police releasing few details at the moment, and it's also unclear whether the person who was arrested was taking part in the protest. A 55-year-old man recently stole an item from a Target in Hanover. An employee tried to stop the man while the suspect ultimately got away, claiming to have a weapon and then threatening to stab the employee. The whole thing caught in surveillance video and given to authorities. Detectives were ultimately able to positively identify the suspect with help and other assistance from the Marshfield and Plymouth Police Department. Police right now not releasing the man's ID, but they do say appropriate charges are being sought. Firefighters and all of their gear among hundreds of individuals raising money yesterday for the American Lung Association in the 21st annual Fight for Air Climb.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
About 600 people are spending part of their day climbing up one Boston place.
There's 789 stairs, 41 floors.
Ashley Carrier, the executive director of ALA Massachusetts, says if while climbing they're out of breath, that's the point.
That way, when people race to the top, they're feeling that in their lungs that people who have lung disease have every day.
Members of the Bishop Fee High School lacrosse team were about to take off. I told Matthew how many steps it was.
I didn't even know how many steps it was, but now hearing that, I feel like I could definitely do it, though. I'm not scared at all. We got this.
They barely broke a sweat, but they did help raise $175,000 for the ALA. Suzanne Sawsville, WBZ, Boston's News Radio.
And we are back to the roads right now on this very foggy Sunday morning. 10:03 traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. First up, the Subaru retailers of New England all-wheel drive traffic on the threes. And Rob, good morning to you. What do you see at the moment?
Good morning, Tina. North of town, Route 1, we do have a right lane closure after Main Street in Saugus. It is repairs to a downed pole from a crash that happened during the overnight. Stay over to the left to get by there. The volume continues to be on the lighter side right now. 3 and 93 are okay heading up to New Hampshire. Watch out for a crash clearing on the ramp from 213 west to 93 in Methuen. Out west of town, no troubles along the pike from the Prue Tunnel headed out towards Millbury. Not seeing any issues along 290 east or west. Downtown Boston, the lower deck, Tobin and Airport tunnels are okay. South of town, no complaints on the expressway. Route 3 looks good along the South Shore and not seeing any issues along 24 or 95 to and from Rhode Island. Rob Hackla, WBZ's Traffic on the Threes.
We are mostly cloudy today, windy and foggy, high around 54. Some early snow showers on the way tonight. We stay blustery and quite chilly with patchy clouds around, down to 32, but feeling like the teens. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sunshine with gusty winds headed up to about 44. Finally, less windy on Tuesday with plenty of sunshine, high 51, and Wednesday partly sunny, high near 50. And looking ahead, oh boy, more sunshine on Thursday, high near 60. Right now, mostly cloudy and foggy, pretty blustery too, and 49 degrees in Boston at 10:05. More troubles and headaches on the T this weekend after a round of repair. Service had just resumed early yesterday morning on the Green Line's B branch when a train derailed near Kenmore Station. Let's find out more from WBZ TV's Laura Hafley.
According to the MBTA GM Philip Ng, they conducted several tests of the Green Line B branch before opening at 5 a.m. They claim more than 70 trolleys traveled safely through the Kenmore platform area, but it only took one to give neighbors another reason to doubt the MBTA.
I think they kind of need to get it together with the closures and stuff because a lot of people rely on it to get from place to place. It's a little scary, like if a train's like off the rails, like I don't really want to go on that train. They should have it like set to go. Like it shouldn't be like off the rails if it's a brand new train.
The MBTA has notified the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Transit Administration of the incident.
Meanwhile, about 25 people were on board when the train derailed yesterday. No one was hurt, luckily. The MBTA also says all the passengers on the train were evacuated and they were brought back to the Kenmore Station platform. Trains were running again as of 5:30 last night. It's 10:06. Keep it right here on WBZ News Radio. We're going to check your ride again on the roads on the way at 10:13 with traffic on the threes. Stay with us.
The following program is sponsored by Hackman Wealth Partners.
Russ Hackman, Claire Hare, and Jack Young are investment advisor representatives of Retirement Wealth Advisors Incorporated, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, BWA, a registered investment advisor and an affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Hackman Wealth are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BWA, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.
Hi, this is Russ Hackman, host of the Wall Street Sweeper. Coming up next on the show, inflation and low unemployment are persistent. Is it possible there will be no Fed cuts this year? We'll talk about implications for the markets and your financial plan. It all starts now.
Welcome in to the Wall Street Sweeper.
This is the only industry that I know of where you can actually pay more to get something worse.
Uncover retirement concepts you need to know.
They might have gotten one of those reports that, they hit enter on and it says you're probably going to be okay, but if you're not, it's not our fault.
And now, the Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman.
Giving you a clear picture of your financial life and much to consider every week on this show, and especially when you meet with Russ Hackman and the team at the offices around Boston, downtown, Wakefield, Hingham, and Waltham. It's the Wall Street Sweeper. Russ Hackman, the president of Hackman Wealth Partners.